Within the mid-level DSLR range, there are few cameras that can match the Nikon D7000. It has so many advanced features compared to its competitors, including the Canon EOS 60D. We're going to take both of these cameras head-to-head in this review, and we'll also tell you why the Nikon D7000 is a step above the rest. The Nikon D7000 replaces the D90, and it improves upon many of the features found on the D300S. For one, we have a dual SD card slot, which allows us to record and have media spill over to the next card, or we could designate video and stills independently. There's also the ability to add an external battery pack with vertical shutter to prolong the battery life, and that's something that's hard to find in this price range. The Nikon D7000's viewfinder is also 100% coverage, so if we stack that up against the Canon EOS 60D, which lacks the battery pack, it has a 96% field of view viewfinder, and it only has a standard SD card. The D7000 is definitely for the hobbyist looking for a little bit more. Now, the EOS 60D has the fold-out vari-angle LCD with the higher pixel count than the D7000, which has a fixed LCD. But the D7000 is constructed of a magnesium alloy body. It's a lot sturdier. It's a better build. It has a pop-up speedlight flash. It has a front and rear control dial that work in tandem. It has an 8-way directional pad, and we now have a live view switch with video record button embedded in the middle. For terminals, we have a 3.5mm audio jack. We also have HDMI, GPS, AV out, and USB. So the D7000 offers more for connectivity than the 60D. The D7000 also has a hot shoe for a real nice speedlight flash or an external mic. It also has a secondary dial on the bottom of the mode dial for drive mode, single continuous mirror up. Overall battery life on the D7000 was great, equal to the 60D, and even better if you add that external battery pack. The D7000 is compatible with all G and D type AF Nikkor lenses, and it's also compatible with DX lenses as well. Aside from the EOS 60D's vari-angle LCD, we'd have to give it to the D7000 for a more professional build. The D7000 also excels when it comes to shooting features. It's a quick camera. It has a 6 frames per second raw continuous shooting mode. The EOS 60D has a 5.3. The D7000 also has a higher max ISO range of 25,600, while the EOS 60D has a 12,800 max ISO. Both shutter speeds are the same at 1/8000th of a second to 30 seconds. The D7000 has a bulb. Both cameras have the ability to sync at 1/250th of a second with flash. However, the D7000 has a much more robust white balance mode. It also has a 2016 RGB sensor for its TTL auto white balance. So colors were a lot more natural. Another arena ruled by the D7000 is focus. For autofocus, we have 39 points with the D7000. With the 60D, we only have 9 points. Points aside, both AF systems are very good. However, the D7000 is quieter, and we have full-time AF in video mode. We have to continuously press the 60D shutter button in order to focus while we're recording in video mode. So the D7000 wins in terms of focus as well. Now, although the 60D is more beginner friendly, the D7000 actually has more scene modes, and both cameras have the ability to apply fun effects to images in playback, although we like the 60D's miniature and toy effect a lot better than the D7000's, which are more like color filters that can be applied in Photoshop. Both cameras have a horizontal level meter. Overall, the Nikon D7000 wins out with features. The Nikon D7000 has a 16.2 megapixel APS-C size sensor with Nikon's latest X-Speed 2 processing. And the EOS 60D has an 18 megapixel sensor, but it's not the size of the pixels that counts, it's how you use them. The Nikon D7000 seemed to use them a little bit better than the 60D. Of course, colors were more natural with the Nikon, while the D60's colors were a lot warmer. And that's an age-old Canon versus Nikon trait. However, we didn't catch any image aberrations in bright light with the D7000, while we did catch some fringing with the 60D. Both are solid performers. The little edge goes to the D7000. Now, unfortunately, with the D7000, the higher the ISO, the more tendency this camera has to spread purple rain. And by purple rain, I mean speckled purple pixels throughout the image. So at 25,600 ISO, this camera was just making prints proud. The 60D never gave us any of that flack, but it definitely lacked the color and it lacked the detail that the Nikon had. So you're gonna have to watch your ISO levels with the D7000 in very dark lighting. As far as video quality, the D7000 has 1080p with 24 frames a second. The 60D has 30 frames per second 1080p. So the 60D definitely has the motion advantage. Throughout our testing, both cameras were about the same in video mode. However, the D7000's superior full-time autofocus was definitely a plus. So now it's time for the final answer with the Nikon D7000. It's going to be pretty easy. If you want as many features as you can cram into a camera in this price range, the D7000 is the way to go. It has the dual SD card slot. It has the adaptable battery pack ability. It has the 100% coverage viewfinder. It has better connectivity. As far as features go, most of the features on this camera were one step ahead of the Canon. The only thing the Canon has going for it is the vari-angle LCD, and it's a lot more beginner friendly. So that's pretty much the D7000. It's one of our top picks for mid-level DSLRs. Go to our site, read the full review. We have images, videos, the whole shebang. Until next time, I'm Mike Perlman for InfoSync World.